Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a long time. It's a great perspective where we talk sports, finances, family, and everything in between. We took a little bit of a hiatus, to enjoy the holiday season, but we had to jump on with all the sports, NBA, college playoffs, NFL playoffs. So much going on right now. So we're going to get it started. We're going to get it started with that college playoff game from last week. What was your thoughts on that game?
That Ole Miss and Miami game. Miami been the shocker of the whole playoffs. They the whole college playoffs. They came in at the bottom seed and not in the national title game. And that's what people want to see, that parity. That you don't just nominate the number one, number two, and that's who go to the national championship, because that's not always the best team. And
No,
Miami's showing you that.
no,
Huh?
no. That's true. That's true.
And
Even in the old system, the FBS system, that still was always a controversy for years. They've been asking for college playoffs for years, and they
yeah,
finally did it.
because they would just pick, number at the end of the year, whoever ranked number one, number two, automatically in the playoff in the national championship.
And what normally and it was normal, like it became like routine for it. It was the Alabama, Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same teams would get top four. So yeah, I like the college because you see Alabama ain't there. So I like
Ohio State.
Ohio State. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and, and Ohio State get to be tested against teams that they normally wouldn't face.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets you see if, but the national
I was
champ like this,
disappointed in Oregon though.
huh?
I was disappointed in Oregon because they didn't live up to the
Yeah.
hype.
That go to show you can't go off seeds and rankings. You gotta let them play.
And a lot of times you can't go off the media. You can't go off with
The
certain.
media blow them up to be.
Yeah, they blowing. It's like players. The media will blow a player up, and you'll think like this is the real deal. And then when it comes to evaluating their play and how they perform on the field or on the court, they don't live up to it.
No.
Look at perfect example. Look at Zion.
Yeah.
Perfect example. But I say on the college football level, man, Indiana ain't nobody beating them.
Yeah, but you remember I picked Indiana to win it all from the start because they strapped on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. But the to the sports fans out there, you got a action-packed weekend. You got NFL playoffs Saturday, Sunday, and Martin Luther King on Monday. You got the national title game, Miami and Indiana. But
Yeah.
I believe it would have been a better game had Miami been healthy. But
Mm-hmm.
Miami got so many defensive players that's hurt from the Ole Miss game. Indiana, that game might be over with at the half.
I think if they win the transfer portal and play Indiana, Indiana's still gonna run through them. I don't think no team in college can beat them. It's like where do they get this team at? I don't see nobody beating them. They
And
got back, they got running back, they got offensive line, they got defensive line, they got
receivers,
corners, they got corners. I mean, I don't see their play calling. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, let's go from if you look at the Carolina game, the play calling of that on defense was horrible because they made no adjustments. They played zone the whole time with no adjustments, at least play a man zone. You get what I'm saying? Maybe cover two, something like that. But they played they just played zone the whole game, and Matthew Stafford ate them up.
Yeah. And it's not fair to players like, their quarterback, because he had a lot of criticism, but in that fourth quarter, it was like a heavyweight bout. He went blow for blow. They scored.
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Carolina back on the field. They scored. But the
Yeah.
problem was, like you said,
Hold on, I'm listening.
every time they scored, the defense didn't help and gave up another touchdown, and they got to get right back up.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. But
What about Chicago?
that Chicago and Green Bay went to the wire, blow for blow.
I noticed three of the NFL games went to the wire.
Yeah, but they were saying Green Bay might have had a different outcome if Michael Parsons wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
because that would have brought more pass rush to that quarterback. But as of right now, you got Seattle playing the Rams. You got San Francisco playing Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah.
And then you got on the AFC, you got Buffalo playing New England. That's a division game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got
who's the other? It's who's the other AFC?
You got Denver waiting on the winner
They gotta wait
of
on
tonight's game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, which
right now it's 3-0 Pittsburgh, but Texas driving.
I take Texas in that game. I take CJ Stroud in that game.
They should win with the defense they got, but they had me kind of suspects the last couple of games they played at the end of the season, especially when they let the Raiders go down there and rough them up.
Yeah, I think the if you look at Aaron Rodgers, his he hadn't been consistent.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
You know, he'll look like his old self, and then he'll look like just the age of show. So
Yeah.
I see Houston winning that one. CJ Stroud, I see Houston winning that one. But yeah, that's it was hurtful going back to Saturday. It was hurtful to see my Panthers lose like that because we were so close, and all they had to do was hold out for 2 minutes.
And then they still had another shot, even though the defense kept giving up those.
Yeah.
The receiver dropped that ball.
Yeah. But like the coach said, like Canal said at the end, at the post game speech, we can't put our fate in the hands of other people. Can't do that next year. He told the team, he said, we have to control our own destiny. But, they still made it and they still won the division. So I mean, with a better record, things could have been a little different. You could play a lower seed.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? You could play a lower seed but out of the gate playing the hottest team. You know what I'm saying? Out of the gate playing one of the top five offenses. That's like playing Seattle or New England in the first round. So
Yeah.
uh, they play well. They play real well. Um, it was disappointing, but I
But if they smart, they know they got a pedigree. All they got to do is off season during the draft, put the free agents in place, do some right draft,
they have to
and
get. They gotta work on that line a little bit because he need more time. He
yeah, that too. But it depends on what's sitting there when they in the draft in the first round. Because if they can get a high power off the ball pass rusher, I'll take them.
because of their record, they're gonna be like 20.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say what's left. So they probably pick based on what's left
Mm-hmm.
in the first round.
Yeah,
And if
unless they trade up, but their pick.
nah, they ain't gonna trade up. Touchdown, Texas.
Yeah, but so what was it? Sunday, the Eagles lost.
Yeah, the Eagles lost the
Char-
same way. Drop ball at the end of the game, and they should have won.
That's why I didn't feel bad because I was like, man, what's the odds of 3 games in the same weekend, playoff weekend, in the same way? You know what I'm saying? It's
With a
basically
drop
like,
ball.
huh?
In with a drop ball, not a fumble, not an
Right.
interception. All
But
of them ended with a drop ball.
they came down to the last 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 games in the same weekend. So that's why when I said I didn't feel bad. Just like, okay.
But I think you had 3 games yesterday. You had the Philadelphia was at 4, and then you had Jacksonville and Buffalo, which was the best game,
Yeah.
and then you had the late game.
I didn't watch that really. The Chargers. Uh,
And
I
New England, it was a
like
blowout.
I said, and I hate to say this, and I told you this yesterday. I think Herbert, he might end up being another Phillip Rivers, another, uh,
Great quarterback for the Chargers,
yeah.
but just don't get. He
He
gonna
can't,
put up all the
can't
stats,
uh-huh.
but he can't get.
Yeah, he won't make the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. It's like he'll have all these stats. He'll be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I just hate to say that. I mean, you never know what'll happen, but it's just, man, it's just like that's the way it's looking like. Like he'll end up just a Hall of Fame quarterback with all these stats, but no ring, no, you know,
Mhm.
AFC Championship games, none of that. Super Bowl appearances, all that. But you never know. Hopefully, it works out for him that he get at least one chance to play in the bowl, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. As of right now, based off of who's left, who are you rooting for in the NFL playoffs to win the
My,
Super Bowl?
my team out of it. Uh, who I'm liking. Uh, I like Houston.
It
I
would be
like.
nice to see CJ Stroud. I root for him. But honestly, in my heart,
I
I
think
think it's
Seattle.
going to be somebody. I think it's going to be.
I think it's gonna be Seattle gonna win the Super Bowl.
I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl because it doesn't matter if it's Seattle or the Rams, whoever win that game.
I think
It
Seattle.
doesn't because the Rams or Seattle was to play who coming out the AFC? Denver, um,
New England.
um, woo, New England will be a tough cookie.
You know
New
what would be
England will be,
a good Super Bowl would be New England and Seattle.
or the Rams, yep.
That would be a good Super Bowl. I would say the Seattle over the Rams, but Seattle and New England in the Super Bowl, that would be a good Super Bowl.
Yep.
Because you know it's gonna be offense and the defense play. They both got good defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come down to whose defense can play better and then whose offense can play better. That's why that'll be a good matchup. That'll be a good Super Bowl. Because they got it on both sides of the ball and they got decent quarterbacks
Yeah.
that's playing at a high level. But who you taking this weekend?
For my major picks for people for the national championship game on Monday night, Indiana. For the
But
NFC,
okay, you got to pick now. If you on one of the gambling platforms, who you going with?
I just told you Indiana, and then in the
You know,
NFL.
states you can't pick. You know, like
Oh
Texas,
yeah, I
South
understand what you're saying. You're talking about the
players.
people who live in certain states can't bet on the team.
Yeah,
But
you can't.
I was going to throw the team picks out there first.
Okay.
Indiana and dealing with the NFL, like you say, Seattle should win because St. Louis. I mean, because the Rams got defensive problems. You saw
Yeah,
that
they
with
all hurt.
Carolina,
Yeah, they hurt. Yeah.
and with San Fran and Chicago, I think Chicago gonna win because San Fran offensively with Kittle's being out,
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
you know that was, and they don't have no primary receiver. I think that's open the
Chicago.
door for Chicago,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the other game, what else is San Fran gonna lose to Chicago, and Seattle to beat St. Louis. And out of the NFC, out of the AFC, um, I think Denver beat Pittsburgh or Houston
Mm,
based on, but
mm,
and Buffalo the last game, Buffalo and New England, for the first time in my life, that's a toss up. Because you remember New England, these are division rivals. New
mm-hmm,
England went and beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
mm-hmm,
Then at the end of the year, Buffalo came back and beat New England in New England.
mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the best game to watch for sports lovers. But if you want a good full pick, put $100 on it. I don't want no money. I don't want nothing from you. Take on that New England game. I would take Drake May over passing yards. I would take Cook, Buffalo's running back, over rushing yards. And I would take Purdy over passing yards. And I'd take McCaffrey over receiving yards. Because with Kittle's out, they're going to use McCaffrey like a receiver.
Mm.
They're going to pass him the ball. His receiving yards going to be low because he's a rusher. He's a running back. So it's going to be like 30, 40.
Mm-hmm.
He caught 50 yards passing off of one play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the quick pick. Put $100 on it. And when you get that money, cheers. But switching to politics, Big Bro got some things he want to get off his chest. You know, a lot been going on since we last talked, dealing with
You said you had a question.
The shooting and with the ice shooting, and then the Trump been going rapid. And
talking about Venezuela.
Yeah. And do you see it justified imprisonment of that president and his wife?
Well, I'll start with the first one, the shooting. Anytime there's a loss of life, you got to think about both sides, right? That officer, it's like me being when I was in the military. If you look at soldiers, even though you might have a person that, like, I'll give you an example. I know a guy that had to take down a 12-year-old because he had a AK. He was saving himself and saving his squad and everyone around him. But at the same time, to take down and have to take out a 12-year-old, that messes with him to this day. That officer now, in this case, is different. One, the lady, losing her life is just sad in itself. But my thing is, if you're going to protest, why not just do what most other people do, scream, yell, hold your sign up, say what you're going to say, and leave it that way? She got in a vehicle and blocked the street. And then and I guess she was trying to like leave. And then before she could pull off, that's when two ICE agents got out of their cars. One tried to open her car, and then the other one came on the other side and stood in front. Now, she still accelerated. So that vehicle is now a weapon. And as an officer, he has a right to protect himself, to stop that threat. It's just like over the weekend, there was a protest against what's going on in Iran. Somebody took a U-Haul and ran through a crowd of about 200 people or 100 people or whatever. Now, the police was out there. If the police had used deadly force, they would be justified because he had a U-Haul and he was using that U-Haul like a weapon. That's the same thing that happened in New Orleans. The guy used his car as a weapon and he took out and deleted like 10 people. They're not here with us no more because of that. So it just depends on how you do it. But you know me, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm not even independent. I look at the whole forest, and if I decide to vote, which if I do vote, it'll only be local. because I know that directly affects me. Um, but on national level, um, they people already chose their sides, you know.
Mm.
But the other thing you was talking about Venezuela, people of Venezuela are happy. They were under a dictatorship. It's like the people of Nigeria when the U.S. did the strikes in Nigeria. The Democrats and the left, they were upset. Some Republicans even had questions, but the people celebrated in Africa, in Nigeria. The people celebrated in Venezuela, celebrated here in America. Free, they was. I mean, I was hearing it in Spanish all the time about a free Venezuela. People was happy. This is what I don't get about politicians. How can you be upset about what makes me happy? If I want to be free, it's like if I just say this: if I want to be free,
But
how
the
can
thing
you be?
about like they say history repeat itself. The same thing happened when Castro took over Cuba and overthrew the government. America was like, oh, he's a criminal and all this. But the people was behind Castro. The people of Cuba were happy. The people Cuba Castro couldn't overthrow a government by itself. He needed the people to help him do it.
But in this case, the people wanted the president gone. That's the
That's
difference.
what I'm saying. It was the same situation.
Yeah, but the people wanted this Maduro gone. The way they did it was, it's cold. You know how we talked about military, and I was telling you, I said the military had GPS in their vehicles 10 years before. We called it Blue Force Tracker in the military,
Yeah.
but they got a new thing. One of the guards in that Venezuela raid, because they only sent like 20 Delta Force soldiers, and they took out over 100 people. And one of the guards said, one, we didn't even see them or hear them coming. Because military, we're trained. When we go to training, you're trained on light discipline and you train on noise discipline. You train to be quiet and you train not to expose yourself. That's every like basic soldier. If you did any kind of like training, wartime training, you know that. And these are the elite. So they gonna be like, before you even see them, he already got a muzzle at your head and he standing right behind you.
Mm.
But the people not realizing what the real reason why we went and did all this. It's not because the Trump lost his mind and he went crazy. It's because Trump is trying to, and this is what gets me upset about politicians, because they know what the real is. That's why I say they puppets and they actors. He's saving us from being a third world country. Because if China and Russia and Iran gets their hands on Venezuela, all the oil, because they have the largest oil reserves in the world. If they get their hands on that, they've already through the BRICS nations are uh, spending money in their own currency, mainly the Chinese currency. So
Mm.
that boosts the Chinese currency, but it hurts the US dollar because the common rule is if you want oil, if China wants oil from Russia, they got to buy it in US dollars. It's like a thing that's been going on for decades. But China and the BRICS, other the Russia and the BRICS nations, India, South Africa, all the BRICS nations are getting away from that. And then on top of that, Saudi not signing the deal with the US. So all these things are going on, and the focus and what people are not paying attention to, the war is to save the US dollar. That's what it is. but we're continuing to fight. And then now we got all this civil unrest, people left, right, people choosing sides. And then you get people that are paid to push you up through radio, whether it's left or right. It don't matter if you listen to Steve Bannon or D.L. Hughley or Ricky Smiley or Candace Owens, Officer Tatum or Steve Harvey. It doesn't matter. These people get paid to 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 get you to vote a certain way and to get your ideas a certain way. You know, whether it's Officer Tatum or The View, CNN and Fox. These people are paid to push certain agendas, certain ideas into your mind so you think a certain way. So you go out there and fight ICE because you think you're doing the right thing. Or you get arms and you go out there and say, we're going to protect. Because I seen a video today, guy saying, should white people arm themselves like the Black Panthers? That's his words. That's what he said in his video. The white guy saying this. So this is the mindset of where we are in America. And I just think it's sad. Like I said, I made a video. I talked about this before. I said right now, America is like a beautiful woman, beautiful on the outside, but she's ugly in the inside.
Mm.
But I'll leave it right there. We want to thank you. We're gonna uh, try to get back on track, especially with all the sports and the NBA. You know, they'll be going into their second part of the season. Uh,
Yeah, the Olympics coming up, the Winter Olympics. But we're gonna get caught back up. We took a little break for the holidays. We'll be right back at it. And I'm gonna keep giving y'all these picks. Don't get too rich. If we get you forget. But
hey,
yeah,
when we
we all wish you the best.
when
And
we post a video, hold up there. If we post a video, if your ticket, if his picks play out for you, just let us know in the comments.
yeah, that'll be it. And we'll be back at you, if not Monday night, Martin Luther King, definitely Tuesday, to talk about this action-packed weekend.
Yeah,
Starting from NFL on Saturday, Sunday, and the college championship game on Monday night. Martin Luther King. So
yeah,
everybody off work, so I know everybody watching it.
yeah.
And
Well,
we appreciate y'all support. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. Any last words?
yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You know, we're halfway through. We're halfway there. We get like 25 more people. That's all we need is 25 people to subscribe, and then we can go live. You know, YouTube have all these rules, so the stipulations. All we need is 25 people. If we get the people to watch our shorts, and in order to get credit for the short, that means you have to watch it for a certain amount of time. We got shorts that got over 1,000 people. So that means you're watching the shorts. You may be watching the stream, but you're not subscribing. So we would. I mean, I appreciate it if you would just hit the subscribe button. It don't cost anything. Just support the channel, help us grow, and as we grow, we make better content, and we'll grow with this thing. We'll grow together. But till next time, thank you for checking out the Great Perspective.